Hello everybody, my name is Stephen Schultz. I'm here to demonstrate today how to prepare a cheese omelet. Over here we have our ingredients all set up ready to go. We have some butter flavored cooking spray. This keeps the pan from sticking and keeps our eggs from burning. I like the buttered flavor just because it adds a little extra flavor to the food. I have 2 eggs, which we will blend with the rest of our ingredients to give us our omelet. Over here we have milk, which we will add to the eggs. We have salt, which adds a little bit of flavor, and pepper, which adds a little bit of flavor. And then last of all, we have the cheese, which will go in last. So, let's start with adding our milk to our eggs. We take a little bit of milk and add it to the egg. Just a little bit. We then take our eggs and our milk and we blend it up into a slurry, as such. You want to try to break up the yolk as much as you can to keep from lumps from forming. Once you've blended that up nicely, you take your little bit of salt, maybe less than a tablespoon, or less than a teaspoon, and you add that to the eggs. You take your pepper, again less than a teaspoon, add that to the eggs, and then blend that together. By now you're asking, why haven't I added the cheese yet? With me, I like to add the cheese last because I don't like my cheese to be all melted and burnt. So I add cheese at the last second before I fold the omelet. Once you got everything all mixed up, nice and blended, you take your cooking spray and you add it to your pan. Again, this keeps the egg from sticking to the pan and keeps the egg from burning. You'll see here the egg started cooking right away. I already had the pan preheated so to help move things along a little bit. You can see around the edge where it's already started to cook. To help things cook a little more thoroughly and cook a little faster, you always want to cover it. Covering the pan while the egg is cooking allows for the egg to get cooked on the bottom and the top. The top traps in the heat, which allows the egg to cook on both sides and cooks it a lot quicker and a lot more thorough. The reason I wanted to talk a little bit about the milk, now a lot of people add milk to their eggs. The reason I like to add milk to my eggs, when I'm cooking, especially when I'm cooking omelets, is the milk in the egg causes the egg to be more fluffy while it's being cooked. The milk in the egg tends to boil off while the egg is cooking. This causes small air pockets and small air bubbles in the egg to form, which causes a froth inside the egg, which allows the egg to rise and become more fluffy. It's just a personal choice. I like it. Not a lot of people do, but that's what we're left with. Alright, let's check on our eggs, see how it's looking. You see it already started cooking pretty quickly. We got a little bit here left to do. It's almost done. Once your egg looks nice and dry across the top is when I typically like to add my cheese. So we'll give that a few more minutes to cook. Now, a lot of people have different ways of cooking their omelets. This is just one that I prefer. It's quick, it's easy, and it's easy to clean up afterwards. You always want to clean up afterwards because you want to keep the wife happy. So let's go back to our egg one more time and see if it's ready. Oh yeah, that's looking good. So now we got to this point. This is where I like to add the cheese. Add a little bit of cheese to the top of it. Now what you want to do from here is you want to cover the dish back up. Again, this traps the heat in and it will allow that cheese to melt a little more quickly. Now you're only going to cook it for a few more minutes. Once the cheese is melted, you'll want to take your spatula and go around the edge of the egg of the cheese, breaking it away from the edge of the pan. To do so, you just simply take your spatula and move it around the edge of the egg. What that does is release the egg from the edge of the pan. You then take your spatula, slightly go up underneath of it, and flip it over. If you've done all this right, the outside edge of your egg should be nice and golden brown by now. The cheese is melted and the egg is thoroughly cooked. If you have cast iron pans like I do, you got to be careful because the handles get pretty warm. But once you're golden brown on the outside and you're folded, you take your egg, lay it on your plate, make sure your heat is turned off. And now, once we have everything cooked and prepped and cleaned up, I can enjoy my omelet.
Gam, DJ, gam, 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 DJ, gam, give me that beat.